Hey guys, what's going on? It's 1:30 in the morning, Sunday night or Monday morning, um, and I'm going to be doing a Kirby's Epic Yarn review. I'm sticking with my thing of always posting my videos at like 2 in the morning, so most of you guys will be checking this out when you wake up or tomorrow. But anyway, so this is going to be my review. Gonna just be sticking with this format at least until school is over. Then I'll probably go back to doing real video reviews, especially for TV and Lust.net, which is back up. If anybody who has went there yesterday or 2 days for the last 2 days, I guess it was kind of down, but Craig figured it out because he's a smart guy with that type of stuff. I would have probably just given up and said screw it. The site is dead, but he and the rest of the staff really got everything back to normal in a sense, which was fantastic. I'm not that good with web stuff, so I left it to them, and I just wrote up my review on Kirby's Epic Yarn. But I'm going to be talking about the review. I have the game right here. I would normally just show you the box, but I actually don't own it. I just gameflied it. So I'm gonna just jump into it. I have my review on the screen right now. If you want to check it out, I will link it in the bottom. Just go to tvandlust.net and it's right on the homepage. But first off, this is a great game. It's so just adorable and just you just like you have enemies, but they don't really feel like enemies. They're just everything is made of yarn. The entire game is just one big, it feels like something that your grandma would sew you or something like that. But in terms of story, the whole story is that there's the main protagonist is a guy named Yin Yarn, and he swallows up Kirby, and after he swallows him up, Kirby wakes up and he's in this alternate universe that's everything's made of yarn, including himself. So the story isn't too great, but it's a Nintendo story. Aside from the Zelda games, there really aren't really deep stories. But it's told in like like a kid's book, like a kiddie fairy tale. I said in my review that it reminds me of Little Big Planet, the narrate with the narration and stuff like that. So it's told through that. The narrator is the only voice you'll ever hear throughout the game. Um, and it's a decent story. It's a cute story. It fits with the theme they're going for. But in terms of gameplay, there's a lot of stuff different from other Kirby games. First off, you can't use the vacuum like attack where you just suck everything in and stuff like that. In its place is like a whip type thing. Basically, you can latch onto anything in the game and kind of pull it. So if it's an enemy, you can unravel them or ravel them up and throw them at other enemies. You can hook onto buttons that are scattered throughout the levels. Um, you can pull buttons to manipulate the environment in some cases. So if you can't get across a platform or a pit, you whip it and pull the button over so the entire board moves with you. It's just really interesting using that type of stuff really to manipulate the environment. Um, it's just something very different and it works perfectly. Um, in terms of gameplay, it's not a very difficult game at all. It's one of the easiest games you'll probably ever play. But you're really going to this game just I don't know what it is. I've read other reviews out there, and a lot of people can't really pinpoint it what makes this game great. But it's just fantastic. You know, it's just a great platformer. It's just a great side-scrolling platformer. But continuing with the game itself, aside from just the general scope of the review, um, graphically it looks amazing as well. Most Nintendo games you're gonna get on the Wii are gonna look awesome. For example, you know, Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, those looked fantastic. The new Metroid game looked really well. Looks really good. And so the cartoony nature of it really, it's kind of like masking it. It doesn't really it hides its flaws with really exemplifying its the the pros of it. Everything looks like it's little hand drawn little pieces of yarn and felt and stuff like that. So it really it hides what it's not good at and really brings what it's the positives to the forefront. The coolest thing, visually at least, there's different layers of yarn, I guess is the best way to put it. So, for example, if there's an opening in like a treehouse or behind a building or something like that, Kirby can jump into it, into the foreground, into the background, I should say, and kind of go behind the top layer of felt. I guess it's kind of hard to explain. I'm gonna try and use this. So like if this is the foreground. He can jump back here, so you see him behind it, and you see the Kirby imprint go up, behind the yarn and stuff like that. It's really hard to explain, but once you play it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So I thought that was really cool to really to show to really exemplify that this entire world is made of yarn, and it's really cool. Um, if you this is from the same developer who made Wario, what was it, Wario Land Shake It? I had to look over there just to make sure. There's a couple different Wario games, but it's from the same makers. And if you played that game, you'll remember the collectathon type style. Through each level has its own stuff that you have to collect, and basically, aside from just the beads and gems and stuff like that, that just really add to your high score, you uh, you can collect different furniture. And in this game, for some reason, I'm not really sure why. It's not essential to the game, but you have an apartment that you can decorate with different furniture and decorations and stuff like that. It's not unlike Animal Crossing, but I went to it once and I put like a couch down or something like that. I never went back to it. I just never really found the need to do that. I'm more interested in the platforming and the levels. But if you're into that stuff, there's a ton of stuff you can collect. Furniture and stuff like that. I think there's three per level, so there's plenty out there that you can decorate with. Um, so it definitely adds a little something for you perfectionists out there who have to collect everything. It definitely adds replay value right on top of that. Um, the game can get a little boring. Not boring, just monotonous in a sense. And to break that up, basically, the developers, who developed this, by the way? Published by Nintendo. Oh, Good Feel. Okay, so Good Feel. I'm sorry. Is that who? I think that's who did this too. I don't know. I heard that was who made Wario Land. So I don't know. Sorry to get off topic there. But yeah, Good Feel really. So to do that, to break up the monotony, like I was saying, I totally forgot. You have different. Kirby can transform into different, I guess, objects or creatures at some points. When there's a water world, so when you're in the water, at one point you can transform into a dolphin, and you can jump out of the water and swim faster. You turn into a tank, a helicopter, a robot, different stuff. I think it was a robot, maybe not. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of Scribblenauts. Um, but yeah, you can you transform into different objects and vehicles and stuff like that. The best one was later on in the game. You're in like a space world, and for a short time, the game actually turns into a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, which was just awesome. It was a blast. Um, it just really does, in the short bursts, it actually is awesome. When you're a tank, it's kind of like a side-scrolling shoot 'em up, just like running gun type game. It's really cool. There's not a whole lot you can do to break up the monotony in a 2D side scroller, so adding that stuff really helps out. With controls, the controls are actually really tight. They're really good. Um, you hold it like an NES controller. For me though, that little controller with just the buttons, the D-pad gets really, for me personally, I found my hand cramping up. And I never really played more than an hour at a time. I didn't really just breeze through this. It's a really short game. It took me about 5 hours to beat, um, and that's not collecting everything though. So if you go back, you could definitely add another whole playthrough to it and try and find the various objects that you missed. So this game could probably take up to 8 or 9 hours to complete 100%. But the controller feels good. It does use the motion controls, I guess, in a sense. When you're a tank, you have to lean the controller, to the sideways or up and stuff like that to aim where you want to shoot your missiles. So it doesn't really use the Wii's, stuff too much, but and so I touched on the difficulty earlier, but this game just presents no challenge at all aside from the boss battles, which are actually pretty cool. Once you really get their pattern down, I guess, they're really not too hard to beat, and they don't last really past 3 minutes maybe. It's just, you know, three hits and they're done. So it's kind of the difficulty will definitely turn people off, and also the shortness of the game. Like I said, I finished it in about 5 hours, but that was just collecting about 60% of the items that I had to find. But like in Wario Land, you can progress without actually finding everything. So it doesn't really leave a ton of incentive to go back and replay it. But if you're a perfectionist and you want to collect stuff like that, it definitely adds to it. So what it comes down to basically is if you're somebody who just likes to enjoy a game and just play through it and accept it for what it is, which is an adorable, fun platformer, you'll definitely like Kirby. If you're looking for more of a challenge, and you want to throw your controller down a couple times and stuff like that, then you won't like Kirby at all. But if you just like 2D platformers, akin to the SNES era, this is definitely one you should check out. To read my full review, I'm gonna go probably I go a little deeper into it, but I basically touched on everything here. But if you want to read my review, head over to tvandlost.net, and it's linked right in the bottom. I'm gonna go to bed because I'm pretty tired. So that was my review. Definitely pick up. Definitely, I would say definitely check out the game. Whether I don't know if it's worth to buy. For me, it probably wasn't, but I it's definitely one that if I see it at a cheaper discount, I will definitely pick up. But that's my review. Like I said, check out tvandlost.net right below there, and follow everybody on Twitter. Follow me on Twitter, and check us out on Facebook also. I'll see you guys later. Next during the week, I will definitely post our recent pickups because I have a little little handful of stuff. So have a good night, guys.